Weeks passed. The cafe had become more than a place for coffee. It was now a place for connection. Students studied there. Strangers shared stories. People laughed, cried, and found hope between every sip. And in that same brown chair, Daniel Cole came every morning, a soft smile on his face, a notebook in his hands. Sometimes he'd write letters to Evelyn that he never sent. Other times, he just watched the world go by, content, peaceful, and quietly proud. Mr. Howard Reeves stopped by often. They'd share coffee stories and the kind of laughter that comes from shared redemption. Their friendship had become the heartbeat of Evelyn's corner. One morning, Thomas arrived early and noticed Daniel's chair was empty. It wasn't unusual, but something felt different that day. The cup Daniel always used sat on the table untouched, with a folded note beneath it. Thomas hesitated before picking it up. Inside, written in Daniel's familiar handwriting, were a few simple words. "Don't be sad, I just went home. Tell Evelyn the coffee's ready." Tears welled in Thomas's eyes. He sank into the chair, holding the note close. By the time Howard arrived later that morning, the news had spread through the cafe like a whisper carried by the wind. Daniel Cole had passed peacefully in his sleep the night before. A few days later, the cafe closed its doors for one day, not out of business, but out of love. Candles lined the counter, photos of Daniel and Evelyn sat near the register, and the air was filled with the soft aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Howard stood before the small crowd that had gathered. His voice trembled as he spoke. Daniel Cole was more than a man. He was a reminder. He taught us that you don't need riches to make people feel valued. You just need time, honesty, and a heart big enough to listen. He paused, looking toward Daniel's chair, still there, still empty, but somehow alive. "He gave me the greatest gift anyone ever could, perspective. And I promise this place will always carry his story." The people nodded silently. Some wept. Others smiled through tears. A week later, a new plaque appeared beside Evelyn's corner. "In loving memory of Daniel Cole, the man who reminded us that kindness is wealth." Every morning after that, someone new would sit in Daniel's chair. A tired worker, a lonely student, a mother, a dreamer. All different people, all drawn by something they couldn't explain. And somehow, whenever they sat there, the coffee always seemed a little warmer, the air a little softer, as if the cafe itself remembered. Months later, Howard sat in his office, looking out at the skyline. His empire was still strong, his business is still vast. But something had changed. He no longer chased numbers. He chased meaning. Behind his desk hung a framed photo, the grand reopening day of Evelyn's corner. Right beneath it, a quote Daniel once said, "It doesn't cost anything to be kind, but it costs everything when you lose your heart." Howard smiled faintly every time he read it. It grounded him, guided him, reminded him, and on his desk, always a cup of black coffee in a cracked porcelain mug. It was the cafe's 1-year anniversary under the new name. The city buzzed with life, but inside Evelyn's corner, peace reigned. Howard walked in quietly and took his seat at Daniel's table. He placed a small bouquet of white lilies on the chair across from him. "Hey, old friend," he said softly. "We made it a year. The place is still full, just like your heart used to be." He raised his cup, "For you and for her." The candle flickered and a soft breeze moved through the cafe, though no windows were open. Howard smiled. "Guess you heard me." As Howard left that evening, he noticed something on the cafe door, a faint engraving that hadn't been there before. It read, "The story isn't over, it just found peace." He touched the words gently, a smile crossing his face. He looked up at the darkening sky and whispered, "Thank you, Daniel." And somewhere beyond the clouds, maybe in a world kinder than this one, two souls sat side by side, Evelyn and Daniel, sharing coffee again, watching the world they'd healed from above. True wealth is not in what you keep, but in what you leave behind.